Welcome to the Album Nerds Podcast with your hosts, Don and Dude.
Here's a little podcast I wrote. I'll sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy.
Very good.
It's Album Nerds Podcast. I'm Dude. I got Don with me. You ready to get happy? Feel some joy?
Let's get happy. Yes.
All right. I don't know if I am, but I'll do my best. So this is the Album Nerds Podcast. We love albums, the album format, finding all kinds of ways to talk about them. And we got a kind of interesting theme and a great show for you today. So we're going to dig in to some albums. Don will present one, I'll present one, that in some way bring or represent happiness or joy. And of course, Don will be asking us a deep question, and then we will also take some time to discuss some other albums and album-related items we're digging, and then we'll spin the wheel of musical discovery to find out what kind of albums we'll be discovering next time and in the future. But right now, it's all about that happy, happy, joy, joy.
That's what I'm talking about!
Joyful records, big smiles, sunshine, and zero gloom. We are chasing the hooks designed to lift your mood. Today, we each present albums that make us exclaim, happy, happy, joy, joy.
I don't think I've ever exclaimed anything, but I'll try. So yeah, there were some other considerations here, ones that we ended up not going with for one reason or another. Don, what was on your list?
Well, one we did before, the B-52's Cosmic Thing, I think would have been a pretty good fit.
That would have been perfect.
Another one I was listening to was Jamiroquai. I don't know if you remember them.
The hat guy?
Yep. But the album Synchronized, I spent some time with, and I like a lot, but it was maybe just a little too, I don't know, it just wasn't quite as overtly joyful as I think what I ended up picking.
It was tough for me. I mean, In Excess Kick is what came to mind, but I think we talked about that previously. And then I was thinking about The Strokes, Is This It? Which to me, like, it has this kind of jangly, happy sound, but I think on the surface, it still feels sleepy, and I wanted something with a little more pop, a little more pep.
I would like to listen to that tune.
We'll see if we can find a way. All right, so yeah, the picks are in. Happy pills have been popped. Let's get to our cha-cha-cha choices.
Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy,
You
happy,
choose me?
All right, my pick for a joyful album comes from a band literally called Deee-LIte, but spelled in a funky way, Deee hyphen light, Lite.
Wow.
Yes.
So artistic.
So their album, World Clique, came out in August of 1990.
Now, Don, I did hear that originally they were thinking about going with D's Nuts. Is that true?
I don't know about that. But so they're kind of like whatever house music is, that's kind of them. They're a dance trio, basically, fronted by Lady Miss Kier, born Kieran Magenta Kirby, the vocalist.
Hey, that name's good enough.
Yeah.
Kieran Magenta Kirby, you got to change it? I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we have Supa DJ Dimitri, born Dimitri Brill.
Supa,
Yeah. Dimitri Brill. He's the DJ and producer. And then Tawa T. He was born Dong Hua Chung, and he was kind of the keyboardist and programmer. But kind of a blend of, house music, some funk, psychedelia, maybe, some kind of minimal hip hop elements. But anyway, let's get right to the happiness. Here's the opening cut, Deee-LIte theme.
Go. Well, there's the hip hop influence right there from that era. Yep. Like go. I'm surprised they didn't say raise your hands in the air. Wave them like you just don't care.
So the Deee-LIte theme was written by the trio. Plus, Herbie Hancock gets credit, and I dug all over trying to figure out why. There's actually another song that he gets credit on as well, which they sampled, but I couldn't find out which part was sampled. I assume maybe it's the horns at the beginning, or maybe the bass line or something. But this song I think is sort of represents the New York City kind of underground club scene that they were coming from. I think what struck me right away is, because I teach mass communication, they mentioned the global village, which was, an idea of Marshall McLuhan. So that was cool.
Yeah, that was a great idea. Unfortunately, it's become the global two for flinching.
Yeah. But, I think, I'm not sure I would call it a concept album, but overall, I think the theme seems to be kind of unity and, this idea of kind of like a global fun dance party or something.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's sample heavy does set the tone for the hip hop elements or feel that is on some of these, even though sometimes they sound like 90s techno, as they used to call it. Mm-hmm. Those elements help keep it a little more grounded on earth. And I think that's nice to do on the opening track. Is it true, however, that for those who, now they weren't pressing a lot of records in 1990, but that the LP went straight to the next song, Good Beat, only CD and cassette people got this song and the closer, actually?
Oh, I wasn't aware. I thought I knew about the closing cut. I didn't know about the first cut.
That's what I read, but I don't have a copy of it to prove it.
Yeah, and it's kind of, I think since we're in 1990 now, I think this is kind of when the CD version kind of became...
This is a real one, yeah.
Right, yeah. There are some, you mentioned the samples. We've got some Kool and the Gang in there, Rotary Connection, Three Dog Night, and the Meters. So, yeah, and this was a, big era of sampling. Yeah, so this is around the time of, Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique, and De La Soul. So we're starting to get kind of that layered sampling. These guys don't do it quite as much.
Don't forget Third Base.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was trying to think of which album we had done recently that had a lot of samples. Yeah, that's right. Okay, well let's go into the big hit. I guess the song they are known for, "Groove Is in the Heart."
Sing about the groove. Sing it. Groove is in the heart.
Now, for many of the listeners, I'm sure they're in the same boat as me, where that's the only thing I ever heard was from just that. I never even heard the whole song before this. I didn't know this was a real band. I thought it was just like CNC Music Factory and just these things that pumped out these danceable pop hits.
Yeah, so that song is again credited to the trio Deee-LIte, also Herbie Hancock. So I think it's the bass line there, the doon 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 doon. I think that is a Herbie Hancock sample, but also Jonathan Davis. You know who that is?
The corn guy.
Yeah. No, it's actually Q-Tip.
From Tribe Called Quest,
yes,
etc.
Yes. So he has a little, rap part in the middle of the track.
His voice is automatically recognizable. I was listening to the record and I was like, the hell?
Yeah.
Do I hear Q-Tip right now? He's even in the video, but I really had no idea that it was legit song in any way. Bootsy Collins stuff, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And him being the bass player from Parliament Funkadelic and a lot of other things.
Yeah, so in a lot of ways, it captures the spirit of that funk of the 70s, the Parliament. But it's just a fun dance track. Even as somebody who wasn't into this kind of thing back then, I would occasionally enjoy it. And if this comes on, at a wedding or something, I'll hit the floor.
No, God, please, no, no.
Okay.
Yes, I hope to never see that. So I guess the bass line, was a riff from Herbie Hancock's "Bring Down the Birds" from the Blow Up soundtrack in 1966. Nice. Ron Carter played the original bass on that song. There's some cowbell from Right On, from Barretto Power from 1972. Now this is what I read that I found interesting. The I vocal loop.
Yes.
uses the first word of a sample of Eva Gabor saying, "I get allergic smelling hay" from the Green Acres theme song.
That's awesome.
If that is awesome.
I get allergic smelling hay.
That sounds right.
The drum fill is from the Headhunters, "God Make Me Funky."
Oh,
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. I think the video is worth mentioning just because its visual aesthetic is the same as the album's aesthetic, which is sort of retro fashion tied in with psychedelia and techno dance music and hip hop beats. Like,
yeah, it's similar visually to like what the B-52s were kind of doing.
Yeah, I actually at the time when I saw a clip of the video somewhere, I thought it was the B-52s.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, was there a cut you wanted to highlight from the album?
I wasn't really sure what to highlight because it all kind of sounded the same to me, except for that song and a couple others. But Don recommended ESP, so that's what I went with, and I spent a little extra time with that one to try and figure it out and found some cool stuff. So let's listen to it.
Mirror between you and ESP, boomerang me, ESP, mind orgy, like a songbird melody with cages really free.
It's a little more acid house.
Yes.
People don't really use, I don't know if they use that term anymore, but I remember that being thrown around in the 90s. Mm-hmm. Trippy, more psychedelic, a little sexier, I guess, than the other songs.
Yes.
So I guess it's about the DJ's telepathic power over the crowd. Mm-hmm. So when the DJ and the dance floor lock in the same frequency and energy, that's what their ESP is. Yeah. There's a sample of actor Bela Lugosi from the 1934 film Black Cat, which kind of adds to that odd cinematic, not creepy exactly, but eeriness that they try and wind in. I think to give it more of a magical feel, but it's definitely a little darker than the other songs. So
yeah, it definitely seems like they're going for kind of a psychedelic experience. They start messing around with the left and right channels, and there's kind of whispery stuff in your head there.
But it also it has a 1966 Batman, the television show, vibe throughout the album, where it's all kind of campy. You almost feel like she's a silly version of Catwoman or something. Yeah, if that makes any sense at all.
Yes, yeah, totally.
Like if they did the bam pows and stuff in the songs, that would have worked well.
You're right. All right. Well, so we arrive at the closing cut, if you had the CD, which is Build the Bridge. Yeah, that actually, those kind of vocal noises there kind of remind me of the theme of The White Lotus. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I watched the first season, but we always skip the intros.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of weird and trippy like that. Yeah, so we end with basically an instrumental track, other than some of those kind of random noises. It feels a little like a come down. If it's a party, an all night party or something, this is the wee hours, where you're, starting to chill a little bit, I think. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Deep Ending would have been a better ending, the song before this. But yeah, I mean, this could have been before that. I don't know. It was a little disappointing in a way after I at least had the expectation of a lot of layers of interesting stuff going on. That just kind of felt like throwaway stuff to me, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah. It has kind of like a jungle feel or a nature feel, I think. And maybe even like those noises there are meant to sound like animals in the jungle.
Well, as let's say an escape from the zoo, right? The club's closed and then all these freaks come pouring out into the streets.
Yeah, that's right. Nice. All right. Well, let's rewind and reflect on Deee-LIte's World Clique. I'll begin with my clickbait headline. Psychedelic misfits invite planet to neon dance party. It is a colorful album, and maybe I'm influenced by the video and the album cover and stuff, but it just feels like there's a lot of kind of auditory color. I'm not like the hugest fan of sampling, but I feel like it's done really well. In a lot of cases, maybe you don't recognize the samples, which I like. But it does a good job of, I think, bringing the club to a pop record, so you've getting, 4-minute songs that work on the radio.
My clickbait headline to describe World Clique: a nightclub built by crate diggers, fashion kids, and a glitter cannon.
Ooh.
So the record's cohesion comes because it commits to this single world, right? Which includes the style, the fashion, the love of house and funk and pop and ambient bits, and it's like a collage, right? Like going to Salvation Army or a thrift store and finding some records and some 70s clothes or whatever, and it all kind of that's the album's theme, maybe their theme as a group. I have not heard any of their other music, assuming they made any other music. But it's tied into an aesthetic, and the energy doesn't feel mechanical, so that's something for dance music of the time, which was, in my estimation, soulless. This has some soul.
Yes.
It helps that we have Bootsy Collins and Q-Tip involved, some recognizable voices. So, yeah, overall vibe, it's not just dance music, it's style music.
Yeah. I like that you use that term crate diggers. I actually saw that a lot when reading about this album, and that's not a phrase I was familiar with, but I was never a big vinyl guy or DJ guy.
Yeah, so. I was pretty familiar with it, but.
Oh, very cool. Okay. Killer to filler. Did you have any favorites?
No. Grooves in the Heart was, the easiest pill to swallow. But Power of Love, which on the album we're talking about next, I wish that Power of Love was available to us, but it wasn't on that album. We'll get into that. But, that song where it's like love as a force, and it's a little more house driven. So it's not just the retro funk stuff. This is more, I think that's more pure 90s house music. So that was interesting.
I like the track What Is Love?
What is love?
Yeah, it's not that one. It has a lot of samples in it, but I don't know. She starts talking with like a French accent in it. Is it D fantastique or whatever, and then it ends with
nuts.
Right, and then she finally says Deee-LIte. I don't know. There's like some sci-fi samples in there. It's actually a sample of a Yaz cut. The laugh at the beginning is from, I think, Yazoo Goodbye 70s. But I like that track a lot. It's very hypnotic. Kind of feels more synth poppy, I think.
I liked Try Me On. I think Try Me On, I'm Very You. On the surface, it seems terrible, but then digging into it, like Bootsy Collins is on it, playing actual bass guitar. There's some horns on it. He does some vocals. It's a little more tied to the world, but the title is Fashion Speak, I'm Very You.
Yeah, I love that.
This jacket is very me or whatever,
Yeah.
The P-Funk DNA in there is nice. So it's more of a songy song, the second most accessible on the record for me.
Yeah, I even like I like Good Beat. I mean, it's a very simple song, but the chantiness of it, and the rhythmic way she kind of sings it. She's an interesting singer. I mean, she's not Whitney Houston, but she's I think she has kind of an interesting and playful way of singing. But I like that track a lot as well. Any fillers? I get the sense that you don't like the first and last cut.
Yeah, Deee-LIte theme and Build the Bridge. I think the album would be just fine without them. More so, Build the Bridge. Although, then my really insightful statement at the end of it about it being a zoo letting loose, and maybe I can think about it that way and not dislike it so much.
All right, so the album was self-produced. I think DJ Dimitri is the main producer for them. So you've got use of drum machines, and so you've got the technology of the time, but as you pointed out, you've got some real players in there. Some bass guitar and some horns and things like that. It's got kind of a wide stereo feel, I think, it sounded great in the car. I gotta say, and on headphones, and the way the vocals are presented. It's less that she's a singer. It's almost like she's she's more of like an MC, even though she's singing, but it's like she's the master of ceremonies for this, for this party, which I dig.
Yeah, the production's pretty important here. the samples being used artistically rather than shortcuts. Like in good hip hop, where they just don't take one sample beat and turn it into a song, MC Hammer, but it's a mix of things. That just shows artistic intent with the use of them. It's a little dated, but it's at this point kind of charming, retro feeling. It was reflecting retro vibes at the time, and now it itself has its own retro vibes.
Yeah, replay value. What do you think?
No, not for me.
No?
I mean, it's a real album, which I did not expect. I didn't know they were a real group or music artists. I just thought it was, computer beat bop sounds is what I expected. And if I'm in a situation where I had to play dance music, gun to head, something like that, then this would be the pick. Because at least it has Bootsy and Q-Tip. Dance! Choose your song.
Nice. I was pleasantly surprised by this record. I think I might be a little more sympathetic to dance music than you are, just because I got like that Pet Shop Boys thing and Erasure in my background. So this was, kind of an extension of that. But as far as picking a happy record, it's kind of hard because a lot of times you have happy songs, but then you throw in ballads and, sad, sappy things. And dance music is really just losing yourself, on the floor, losing yourself to a groove or a beat.
Groove is in the heart.
Exactly. Legacy.
This again was from research, not from being there in New York City during this time. But I think it, helped push that club culture into the pop mainstream without stripping it of its fun. And it's a moment when dance music and funk history and pop crossover stuff was kind of colliding. And I think MTV and things like that probably helped with that transfer of power of like where, because, there was a lot of CNC Music Factory and Technotronic and stuff, Pump Up the Jam and all that going on at the time. And so I think this was a more developed artistic version of that and less canned. But their clothes, their image, their attitude, I think it sticks in the cultural memory. Like I said, I have a flash of that video. I just didn't know anything about the rest of it.
All right. Well, World Clique captured a moment when club culture, crate digging, and big-hearted idealism all met on the dance floor. Will you join them? Let us know.
Excuse me. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
It's time again for Deep Questions by Don. So, of course, our episode theme, Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy, is a reference to Ren and Stimpy, which was an animated cartoon that came out in the 90s. I think it aired on Nickelodeon for several years. Kind of more adult-themed or, sort of teenager-y. Were there other cartoons that brought you happy, happy, joy, joy?
Some brought me happy, happy, but not joy, joy.
Like what?
Well, when I think of cartoons in childhood, I dabbled in like some of the Simpsons and stuff like that in high school, but mostly I think of cartoons in childhood. So Scooby-Doo.
Ah, yes.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo!
I liked a lot of different shows, but it's the anchor of my childhood when I think back, and it's one of the few cartoons I can stomach to watch now. It was treated like a sitcom. I liked that. I liked it when they had celebrity guests on, like Ron Watts and
the Globetrotters,
Batman and Robin,
Phyllis Diller.
Yeah. So the mysteries, the like trying to figure out who it was. So like it was kind of like preparing me for adult TV shows that were more complicated, but it had the same kind of layout as like a episode of Columbo or Magnum
maybe
PI
it taught us to recognize the formulas of shows. Yeah, that's a good one. In the 90s, I guess probably around the same time as Ren and Stimpy, there was that Warner Brothers show Animaniacs, which I enjoyed. It was kind of a throwback to the Looney Tunes.
Yeah. My little sister watched that, I think. And it wasn't like the song was like Animaniacs. We got something in our slacks or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bananas?
I can't remember what it was. But one of the recurring segments on Animaniacs was Pinky and the Brain. And I think that was so successful that it ended up having its own cartoon. But I really enjoyed those segments, for a while. Anytime that was on, I would make sure I would watch it, and I was already like in college or beyond at that point. I think
at that point in my life, my sad television addiction was soap operas.
Yeah. But Pinky and the Brain was formulaic, just like Scooby-Doo, where, you had this one super intelligent mouse that every episode was trying to take over the world, and he'd have some kind of interesting plan that would have pop culture references. I remember he went on The Real World or something like that to somehow brainwash the masses. But yeah, really clever show.
So was it an evil mouse?
He was indeed evil.
Oh.
Yes.
Nice.
So what cartoons bring you happy, joy? Let us know on our social media like Instagram and Facebook at Album Nerds.
Happy, joy.
Extra, read all about it. Huey Lewis is here with the news. I went to one of my childhood favorites, Huey Lewis and the News, the 1983 album Sports, the third album by the San Francisco-based rock band. And they had that bar band, R&B roots thing with they had the polished pop rock hooks to back it up and to make it fun. Mm-hmm. They rose from the ashes of two Bay Area bands, Clover, which was Huey Lewis and Sean Hopper, and then Soundhole, terrible name.
But that's like the guitar, right? The Soundhole?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess. That was Johnny Cola, Mario Cipollina, and Bill Gibson. Chris Hayes joined in 1979 as the sixth and final piece. Huey Lewis was born Hugh Anthony Craig III.
Really?
Yes. He could have just gone by his initials, Hack.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, he went to college at Cornell, quit, moved to England, did busking and stuff, played harmonica, and was a street performer to try and make money. Played harmonica in Thin Lizzy's live band for a time. But the core identity of Huey Lewis and the News is built on the tight backing band arrangements, that upbeat, blue-eyed soul style. Mm-hmm. They self-produced this album, and it's a mix of originals and outside songs tailored for their hit-oriented, catchy rock and pop vibes. So why don't we jump in to the opening track, The Heart of Rock and Roll.
They say the heart of rock and roll is still beating, and for what I've seen, I believe 'em. Now the oboe may be barely breathing.
As a kid, I had a real hard time with that "old boy may be barely breathing" line. Like, I could not figure out what he was saying. I thought he said the oboe may be barely breathing.
I totally thought it was oboe.
Oboes are boring. No one wants to hear an oboe.
Well, and it kind of made sense because it's a woodwind instrument, so it has like you have to breathe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But "old boy" makes much more sense. That the heart of rock and roll is still beating. Written by Huey Lewis and Johnny Cola. The Uncola.
The Uncola.
7-Up commercial from the 80s, sorry. So apparently the origins of the whole Cleveland thing, I mean, because it names a bunch of cities, it's one of those, But after playing a show at the Agora Theater and Ballroom in Cleveland, Ohio in 1980, I guess Huey said to his bandmates, the heart of rock and roll really is in Cleveland. Because I guess they had a really good show and people, good crowd. And the band were like, what? And so he thought about it, and then it became the heart of rock and roll is still beaten instead of the heart of rock and roll is in Cleveland.
Yeah. Makes sense. Huh. So is this why they ended up putting the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland?
That was a deep question in itself, Don. So I guess they tried a kick drum to create the heartbeat sound originally, but they ended up using some keyboard tricks with the synth and then delays to make it sound like a heartbeat.
God,
I found a recording of a heartbeat.
That's what I thought it was. Wow.
What do you think about this one? I mean, does it make you happy?
It does. Brings me a lot of joy. At the time, it didn't. Of course, I was, glued to MTV, and these guys were all over it, and I did not care for them. They were like anti-new wave in terms of looks and stuff. They looked like...
But the videos were funny.
Oh, they were. I mean, he was very charismatic. I mean, the videos were definitely, captivating. But yeah, I was not into this at the time, but now I love it. And I'm kind of a sucker for songs about music or the nature of rock and roll or country music or whatever. I like this better than Still Rock and Roll to Me by Billy Joel.
Yeah, a lot of those songs existed then and still do, where is rock and roll dead? Is metal dead? Like all those conversations were being had way back then.
Old time rock and roll.
Yeah. And they also did a brilliant thing where the band produced various regional versions of the song, where the mention of Detroit and like bringing up the cities that the song was going to be played at. So they'd send that version to that city. So then on the radio, they'd be playing one that featured their town.
Right. So like when you were in Nebraska with Lincoln, Omaha, where the corn is. I don't know.
Where the corn is sweet.
Those are the only two cities I know from Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're still having the argument about the heart of rock and roll, and is it still beating? But this song is just fun. It's a great way to kick off the album and to set the mood for, there's going to be saxophone and there's going to be cities. You can't go wrong there.
Sax and the city.
There you go. Perfect. Why don't we get into another very well-known track, I Want a New Drug. This one was written by Huey and Chris. So I guess Huey drove to his publishing attorney's office hungover, inspired with this song. It's a love song. It's not a drug song.
Right.
I remember people being parents being up in arms about it being about drugs.
Parents are so dumb. Just like listen to the lyrics.
Yeah, but they jump at the title.
Yep.
Their kid has a tape that says, I want a new drug, and they freak out without giving it a listen. So I want a new love, like if you put it that way, one that won't make me sick, one that won't make me,
right.
And then that won't make me crash my car. Like, so it's using the elements of what goes wrong with substance abuse,
right,
and tying it to the pain of a bad relationship.
Right. So either whether it's drugs or love, there's always side effects, and the idea of having one without side effects is not realistic.
There you go. Now that little rant, like synthy sound there. Ivan Reitman, the maker of Ghostbusters, apparently wanted the song for Ghostbusters. They said no. So Ivan Reitman had already used it while producing the movie. So they already had set the tone to it. So that's when they found Ray Parker Jr. to make something similar. Huey Lewis sued and won for copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another tie where the sound just sounds so familiar, so comfortable, so fun, so 80s, and I dig it. Don, what do you want to talk about here? What makes you happy?
Well, the second cut on the album is called Heart and Soul, and it touches me there.
You picked the rocker. This is the one I used to play for friends that were more into like your Def Leppards and stuff. I would cut it off before the oh part, but
yeah, this song does rock quite a bit. Actually, not written by the band, written by Mike Chapman and Nicky Chin. This was a veteran pop songwriting team. They were known as Chinachap.
Okay.
And they wrote songs for like Susie Quattro, Exile, and Tony Basil. Chapman actually produced like Blondie's Parallel Lines and The Knacks, Get the Knack. So, veterans. Yeah, I mean, the song feels, perfect for the band.
Yeah. I guess they were like actually recording it at the same time as the Bus Boys. They were both recording the same song. But yeah, I mean, it's a late night encounter that goes from the handshake to the to the bang. But yeah, just like 2:00 this morning, if she could come calling, I couldn't dream of turning her away. There's a lot of songs like this, especially in the era where too much to handle, right, kind of a thing.
Yeah, she's risky and hard to control.
Yeah, she drives me crazy. So yeah, it works. I mean, and I like the little bit of more guitar riffage. It adds to the nightlife vibe a little bit more.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't remember a lot of horns on that one. So
yeah, no harmonica, I don't think either.
All right, so we close it out with another cover. A very odd choice, but I think it works. Let's listen to a little bit of Honky Tonk Blues.
Last night I wore out my shoes. Woke up this morning wishing I could lose a jumping honky tonk blues. Yeah, the
So I think this was to tie into that whole bar band vibe, you know, that, again, end of the night, end of the set kind of a thing.
I can smell the stale beer and cigarettes.
Yes, for sure. Hank Williams song.
Senior. Yes.
Apparently Hank Williams Jr. complimented the News on their rendition. Whereas a song about a young man who fled the family farm for the city, got swallowed up by the nightlife, the honky-tonk life, and never quite could get himself home. But yeah, it's a road band song, right? You know, that works for what they were. They had been a hardworking road band since 1979. By this third album, they'd had a couple hits on the last one. I think they knew they were going to break big. I think they constructed an album of hits on purpose, and it worked.
Yep.
And so this is an interesting little nod to the life before, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll buy that. And I like that they are, nodding to country. They're not a Southern rock band. Other than Southern rock, you didn't at that time in the 80s, I don't think you had a lot of rock and roll that was really embracing, country sounds.
Right. I had this tape and I just assumed that they wrote all these themselves at the time, and I thought it was cool because they made it up.
Right.
Yeah, I was a big Huey Lewis and the News fan. It was after I saw Back to the Future that I got really into them.
Oh, yeah.
Because Huey's in the movie, and
that's right.
Power of Love is in the movie, and Marty McFly has a poster of the album Sports on his bedroom wall. Oh. So I was like, Marty McFly likes him, so do I. And that's where it's so easy back then. All right, so why don't we take a little time to rewind and reflect on the happy, happy, joy that is sports. My clickbait headline to describe the album: the cleanest, hard-working bar band in America goes full hit machine. Dense on hits, short on runtime, less than 37 minutes. They've been making records for a few years. They figured out what was going to work. It's not musically adventurous, but if you didn't have a hit record, you weren't going to be able to make more records. Back when the music industry ruled all and the big labels ruled all. I think when bands are put in that position, in this case, it pushed them to shed the bar a little bit and embrace the 1983 MTV world around them. And I think it was a great choice. And it's a fun record to listen to. Yeah.
All right. Well, my clickbait headline is kind of in the same spirit. Huey and crew trade barroom jams for arena sing-alongs. I think they're a great band, full of, very good musicians. And I picture them having the ability to jam for 20 minutes at a time. But these are just, clean, well-written, well-constructed, well-thought-out pop songs, and it works. Yeah, it's just so tight with mainstream appeal.
Yep. All right, so on the killer to filler side, if we're to look at the tracks, any other killers for you? Great songs?
I always liked Walking on a Thin Line. Which is, that's actually also not written by members of the band, written by Andre Pessis and Kevin Wells, but a little darker, maybe doesn't fit the episode quite as well. It's supposedly about a Vietnam veteran struggling after returning home. A little more tense, but just really good track.
I think it grounds the album slightly, like talked about basically, the generation that these performers are from, them and their buddies would have been the age of people who had potentially gone to Vietnam.
Yeah, kind of a Springsteen song.
Yeah. And that's what this kind of is. This is sort of a more huggable version of what Springsteen was doing at the time. This is pre Born in the USA. I really like Bad is Bad.
Me too.
The doo-woppy stuff that like Billy Joel was doing on Innocent Man at the time as well. I guess Phil Lynott of Thin Lizzy also, they used to do this song, and I think it was Huey co-wrote it with people during that period.
I see.
Is my understanding. But, cool is the rule. Sometimes bad is bad. Like, It's kind of hokey, but he pulls it off. I don't know how he pulls it off. He's like, the dad that's your baseball coach, but somehow he pulls it off, being cool a little bit, like in a winkable way.
I wanted to mention If This Is It was another big hit at the time with a huge video, and more medium tempo, maybe kind of doo-woppy as well. With the backing vocals,
Ooh-wop and all that stuff. Yeah. Filler wise, like, I kind of think You Crack Me Up. Even as a kid, I didn't love that one as much.
Yeah.
You really, really do. I mean, it's kind of charming and it's kind of fun to sing about someone that makes you laugh.
Yeah. They could have replaced that with The Power of Love.
Yeah. No shit. So production wise, it's, pretty simple production, I think.
Yeah. Self-produced. It's impressive.
The guitars are nice. They're crisp, clean, not so much distortion. I think more of a nod to 60s guitar sounds, like early 60s. The drum machine and gated reverb date it a little bit.
Yes.
I mean, but the whole thing has such an 80s vibe, but I think in the best nostalgic way where this isn't like the eye-rolly 80s. Like, I think the sound, the production sound keeps it warm and real, even though it's... of that era.
Yeah, the vocals are definitely very well produced, or maybe a bit overly produced, but not as bad as, we get later in the 80s, I think.
All right, so replay value for you.
Yeah, I mean, this is an easy one. Like you said, it's like 35 minutes long, ton of hits on it. The deeper cuts are good as well. I mean, there's really nothing to dislike about this album.
Yeah, I mean, look at the album cover and you get it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're at a bar with sports on in the back. I mean, they start telling you who they are. 37 minutes, it's efficient. I've listened to it a gazillion times in my life on every format imaginable. And it's perfect for actual sporting events, backyard grilling, it just fun times. I think it's for pretty much anyone. And it's absolutely part of the fabric of my musical life. Legacy, how you feel about it?
Well, I guess it kind of gets lumped in with, I think, what people started calling like blue collar rock.
Yeah.
I mean, even they would throw like Billy Joel in that category and John Mellencamp. But, it's a little more nightlifey or something. Like, I still get the bar room vibes. But, I think this probably, continued the interest in sort of more classic, retro leaning music that was, still poppy. I don't know. These guys were just so huge for a while. I mean, it really defined, I think, kind of the mainstream rock sound of kind of the mid 80s.
Yeah. Huey Lewis in the News crafted sports with hooky precision, blue-eyed soul energy, and radio engineered optimism that still sounds like a packed dance floor at your neighborhood bar. Check it out.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Well, it was a happy and joyful week. Did you have a chance to dig anything else that brought you some joy?
Yes. Think so. So I only got a chance to listen to this a couple times, but favorite artist of the show, Ashley McBryde, and her new album, Wild. She's an American country singer-songwriter from Arkansas, known for mixing... It just makes sense. Put a W at the end. Replace that S. She's known for mixing gritty country storytelling and southern rock energy with her deep personal songwriting. And, it's really strong vocals, but songs center on life, the things that are in our lives, addiction, resilience, identity, working class, daily life and stuff. And she does it really effectively. Let's listen to a little bit from her new album, Wild, released May 8th, 2026. This one's called What If We Don't?
We always do. What if we don't? What if we don't?
Produced by John Osborne, I think probably of the Brothers Osborne.
Oh, I saw your notes. I thought it was Joan Osborne. I was like, oh.
The What If God Was One of Us lady?
Yeah.
I wonder how she's doing. Probably she's just a stranger on the bus at this point. But album balances that hard driving energy with the autobiographical songwriting. And, it's got good reviews and I'll keep listening to it. And hopefully I'll continue to dig.
I like her.
I know you do. So on the happy, joy vibes, tried to find something in my personal album collection. This one I have on vinyl. So I went with The Cars, self-titled The Cars. They were an American new wave rock band formed in Boston, so I think they were really called The Cars. They blended the pop hooks and rock guitars with synthy, new wavy stuff that was happening, starting to begin at that time, led by Rick Ocasek and Benjamin Orr. Why don't we listen to a little bit of what I think is a fun song, a happy song, Good Times Roll. So that was their debut studio album, produced by Roy Thomas Baker, who we did an episode on a while back. That's right. Packed with so many songs like Just What I Needed, My Best Friend's Girl, and of course Good Times Roll. And it helped bridge that classic rock and new wave, those two worlds colliding, and I did a really good job with that. So if you want a good time album, do it.
I like them.
Thank you. Great insight. Don likes them, everyone.
Donnie Likey.
What you got?
Well, I actually have two indie bands from the Pacific Northwest with long legacies to talk about. They happen to both be releasing albums in the same week on June 5th. First, let's talk about Modest Mouse. Their new album is called An Eraser and a Maze. Frontman Isaac Brock has always had kind of a shifting lineup of bandmates. This is the 8th studio album dealing with themes of progress, self-sabotage, in a chaotic world. Here's a song called Picking Dragons' Pockets.
I think they should have gone to the next step, Dragons with Pants. Because where else would you get the pockets?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose a jacket.
Yeah, unless do they have pouches?
Kanga dragon?
I don't know if they're marsupials. All right. And then the other band from the Pacific Northwest is Death Cab for Cutie. They have a new album called I Built You a Tower. It's their 11th studio album, believe it or not. And the band is still fronted by Ben Gibbard, kind of known for interesting and reflective lyrics and melodic guitars. Apparently, this tower, it's like the idea of building an inner tower to hold heavy experiences while moving forward. Here's of course. Here's a song called Punching the Flowers.
Even though I know what's coming with his voice, it always catches me by surprise. They're like, gung, 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 eeny, meeny, meeny. I know it's coming. It's good. I like it, but for some reason, he surprises me every time.
Yeah, so both of these albums, again, come out June 5th. That's Death Cab for Cutie and Modest Mouse. So what are you digging? Let us know. Join us on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at Album Nerds.
It will be a discovery of extraordinary value.
Well, here we are, the end of the show. It's about time when I'm reminded of the words sung by the Peanuts gang in the finale of the musical You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, which I've never seen.
I starred in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
And you were the title character, I assume?
I was.
Yeah, there we
Because
go.
I got the large head, the large noggin typecast.
And the Peanuts gang said, I will not sing it because I don't know how it goes. Happiness is anyone and anything at all that's loved by you. Oof. With that in mind, let's bring out the Wheel of Musical Discovery to find out what kind of albums and places we'll be going on the next episode.
Next time, we hit the road for our new series Summer in the Cities, celebrating the music of cities around the world. First stop, New York City, where we'll dive into albums that capture the energy, attitude, and pulse of the Big Apple.
So it's summertime, another road trip. This time we'll be spending our summer in the cities. And it looks like NYC is the first one up.
New York City. Such good chemistry.
Paste picante sauce, yes. So yeah, that should be fun. Last year we did bands across America, and this year we'll be visiting various cities across the globe.
All right. Well, what's your favorite album that came from New York City? what else are you listening? Email us at podcast@albumnerds.com or follow us on Instagram and other social media at Album Nerds. And you can visit our website, albumnerds.com, to listen to all 337 episodes. And the best way to support this show is to share it. Please subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast app.
Thank you, as always, for joining us here on the podcast. We'll catch you next time in NYC.
When they do that podcast, that Album Nerds podcast.
Yeah, okay.
They like it with a lot of style, but it's still that same old music, love, and passion that listeners really likey. Sorry.
That was a train wreck.
Yep.
Huey would kick your ass if you heard that. See you next time.